This conference will now be recorded.
Welcome, everybody. That means Warren and Larry. I'd like to call this meeting to order, Town Board of North Elba, and I'd like to rise and pledge allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Even though they were sent to us previously, I'd like a motion to approve the minutes from our June 6th meeting.
So moved.
Dick, second. Any further discussion? No jokes to talk about. But
No, because
All
I
right.
didn't actually type on.
all in favor?
Does it?
Aye. Carried. Thank you. I'm gonna move ahead. Larry's here to speak to us, and persons present to be heard is way down at the end, so let's move it up, and Larry, come on up if you wanna, sit right at the big table. Yeah,
I don't know if I deserve to be up here. Well, trust me, if we were here, you definitely would. I know most of you. My name's Larry Curry. And I live in Ray Brook.
is any of us you don't know Larry? You know Emily,
I know Emily.
Yeah.
I've known
you know Jason,
Jason. I met you once, I believe, I'm not sure. Yes. But I have now.
and you know Dick,
I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know Lori.
yes.
Good.
Yes. So, last year, the people from Verizon sent out notices in Raybrook for anybody that was interested in the cell tower. I got one of those notices, and after a period of time in the fall, they selected our property as a cell tower. I was supposed to be the chosen one. And after studying about cell towers, I decided that that's not going to happen. We're selling our property. Hopefully it'll be all as soon as some legal work's done, hopefully in the next month or this month. It'll be going to the new owners. And I believe you all met with them before. The problem is we're going to still be here and we're going to build up in the field or in the front lot by where my brother's property was. It's on Fitzgerald's Corner, just to the left of that. And it is in really close proximity to where the cell tower, where they proposed it. Well, we told them for a couple of different reasons that we weren't interested in having a cell tower anymore. We couldn't do it. And they went over to see the town of North Elba to see if you'd be interested in putting it on one of your properties. And they don't like it being up by where your water tower is, but they prefer the site down across the bridge on Little Knoll where you just put another well for water. On the property that my brother sold to the town a few years back. The trouble is that's right up in line with just either ahead or behind where I want our houses to go, where they will go if we build. And it's really a catch-22 because I mean, we all want cell phone service, but I don't know anybody here that would want a cell phone tower behind their house. I really, if I was to take a vote, which I don't feel like doing right now, I don't think anybody would raise their hand. After they went through and studied the two studies, which I'm going to leave with you. And the studies aren't really conclusive one way or the other. They say yes, they say no, they say there's, low sperm count, breast cancer, leukemia, everything else that they've had a rise in incident since they had put cell towers up in these areas. And so I want to leave those with the board, and hopefully you'll get a chance to study them. And I realize it's $10,000 a year, and you all know me well enough to realize that was my first draw to it. And then after I got reading about it, I realized that the health of my family, my son and my daughter, my wife and myself, is more important than the $10,000 a year that Verizon is offering, and that's for one tower and one antenna on it. But I ask you as a constituent to back me and not have it where the water department's hill is. I've been here for 70 years in the town of North Alva, almost 71, but who's counting? Then Ray Brook, 55 years this year. And the houses, the homes that I'm gonna put up are just gonna be average 1, 2, 3 bedroom homes. You know, the children are each gonna build a house and Laura and I are gonna build a house. So the value of those homes that I would be erecting will probably be finished, will be $1.2 to $1.3 million, which sounds like a wicked lot of money, and it is. But today, with the cost of everything, it's not so great. It's what I have to spend, you know, to get the houses. I want to continue living in Ray Brook. I mean, to me, it's right between Lake Placid and Saranac Lake. It's in North Alva. It's a great school district. There's no place that I can think of that's any better. I mean, we've got everything. We still got grocery stores where when I travel in the wintertime, I see places like Indian Lake, Milcom, other places like that, that their only type of grocery store is a store. And thank God for stores, you know, but you go out to Port Henry and places we go all the time and they don't have that benefit, and we still do. And there's great people here, but what it comes down to is a few different things. Number one, I'm not gonna put my houses where I'm gonna be affected by the cell phone towers. It's bad enough that we have, and I'm not saying it's not necessary there. We have cell phone towers up at DEC, state police, you know, and they need them up. And I'm not complaining about those, but there's an increased risk. Now they want to put another cell phone tower. You know, I've had health issues in the past. There's no secret. My face doesn't look this from a car wreck. But I need, and here's the hard part, I need a commitment from the town board in the next month that if you're willing, that you won't let them put the cell phone tower on town property. Problem is, when we sell our property, we have 45 days to make a plan. We have 6 months to complete that plan. And that's it. So our houses have to be up, 2 out of 3 houses have to be done in 6 months' time. It's called a 1031 exchange. It's a like property exchange with the government where you can apply some of your taxes toward other like kinds of businesses. And that's the Genesee here. So, I mean, we've been in a holding pattern with the sale for 6 months for Derek knows the reasons. But when the lawyer calls and he says, this is settled, we have to go sign that and we have a 6-month period. So that's why I'm saying to the town board, you know, geez, I want your support. And it's like, God, give me patience, but give them to me now. And it's that kind of a deal. I need the commitment. If you'll go along with that for 6 months. And I mean, Verizon has other places they could go. They have no reason to expect that you have to rent them, lease them, a piece of property for $10,000 or maybe a little bit more. I think in the long term, you're going to make more than off of us putting the 3 houses up and what goes along with it, and the other things that we may be able to do in our property over there. We haven't got anything concrete, just a couple projects that we were thinking about. But we've been community people all our lives, and we want to stay that way. So that's my.
At the very least, Larry, I think it behooves us to be totally transparent on where we're at with Verizon. I've had contact maybe 4 times from Cassandra. Is she the same gal you talked to?
Darmody, Cassandra Darmody.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we aren't even at a phase where we have even negotiated anything. When I got the lease, which is very thick, as you well know, we sent it to our legal counsel. They came back to us with a document of either 14 or 17 items to negotiate or at least discuss with Verizon. The least being the payout value. I appreciate getting that. You and I have talked a couple times about that. I can't wait to read it to know. The part I'm most sorry about is that I don't believe, even if we wanted some kind of decision in 6 months, we haven't even started with them. And it's like watching paint dry, going back between our legal counsel and them. So as much as I'd like to give you a commitment, I can't, personally, I can't speak for the whole board, of course, but until I know the parameters and research that, I mean, you can't leave here tonight with a commitment from us.
I'm not asking.
But we're gonna research it, I promise you that. And there is nothing definite about our site. She was solely interested mostly because of the elevation, but Brad has not got an okay from Department of Health. Once we get our fencing and protection around our water system, we don't want Verizon people having access to anywhere near that, and they can anyway. So it would mean separate ingress and egress, fencing, security. We haven't answered any of those questions. There's a good chance that little tiny hill isn't even big enough for doing two things. We had to actually do a little bit more road work to be able to get the drilling rig in there. And, we'll need to have those wells serviced from time to time. So, but we are far from even being in a position to say yes or no. But I appreciate you coming here and at least putting that in front of us. I had no idea there can be concerns on microwaves. And listen, there's provisions in this lease for them to be able to contract with other companies. So you're right, they just don't come in and put one tower up.
A way to start.
Yeah, right. So that's what put us on guard to have some legal opinion on that lease.
And I know of other people that had a good site that were interested in having a cell phone tower. And they just were not interested. And the more, with 5G, you're putting more cell phone towers in closer proximity to each other. And that's, like I said before, that's the chink in the armor. Because if I start building those houses, and I'm not trying to put the board in a bad place, but I guess we're all in a decision making, not now, but maybe by your next meeting, you can have an answer for me. Because if I start putting those up and the plan for the 1031 is done, and those 45 days are for the plan, but still 6 months from the day that I do the 1031, that
Right.
includes the 45 days of planning, then I stand to lose $900,000 in 1031 benefit. So that's, it's always a hurry up and wait.
Yeah.
It's not a good situation. So that's why I'm hoping that you can find it in your hearts to say, well, what's more important, to have somebody here that is here to stay in the community, or is it more important to have the $10,000 a year for the cell phone towers? I guess that's your questions you have to ask yourself.
For sure.
And that's what I'm asking you to do.
Yeah, but I think, I've read similar studies. I do want to read those.
Yeah,
And like you said, there's a lot of inconclusive. There's.
I presented both sides of it in there.
Whatever.
You're gonna find it anyways.
Oh,
when you
yeah,
want
same
to.
thing. Oh, yeah, same thing. Hey, if it's on the internet, it's gotta be true, so I'll find,
Well,
I think that's visible.
Yeah, okay. But I think we can discuss it. We can look at it. We never, this puts another aspect to it that you want to do. You and the rest of your family want to do this. So that does change not the parameters, change the outlook a little bit. So I think it brings it up for discussion again.
We're gonna do it. If this doesn't go in, there's no question about it. I've got my plans. Pat and Jen have their plans for their home. And like I say, there's no place we'd rather be. And I thought, hey, this is great, it's gonna help pay the taxes, until I started reading into it, and then I just pulled back on the reins and I said, God almighty, this isn't good. And like I said, I won't take the risk.
No, I understand.
That
No,
would be foolish for me. And the height of that hill happens to be same height as the top of the field.
Right.
And then they're gonna go above that, and these microwaves that they're putting out and the other, well, let's just call them emissions for lack of a better word on the tip of my tongue. They go into the ground. They go into the ground right away.
Yep.
So they may be even contaminating the well water. And then it's not as dangerous for a certain distance, and then it's more dangerous again. So that's why I'm in the time crunch and the health concerns.
well, thank you for giving us all the, your situation. I mean, it's okay to be a little bit, lack of a term, selfish, but thank you for giving us all the data and everything.
I know I wouldn't want to live or buy a house near a cell tower or even power lines.
Yeah.
I understand.
Well, I mean, I never thought much about it. I was totally ignorant, almost totally ignorant. And then when I started reading in their proposal, they have to have power to it. It's not just a tower like a CB antenna tower. This thing puts out power.
Yeah.
It takes in power, it puts out power.
Yep.
And as far as their other ingress and egress, I assume you're referring to from your property, not from ours.
Right.
So they would probably use your right of way.
Exactly. But that's
If they're
just,
allowed to.
yeah. That's another question, Larry.
Well, you got 2 deeds.
Yeah,
You just got another deed a couple of years ago.
yeah.
So, I mean, that doesn't go in my favor. Who knows?
We'll look at it.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now you can get rid of me.
Next time you come, you're at the end of the agenda.
Yeah. You got it once, Larry. That was a one time.
You gotta earn the right.
Thanks, Larry.
All right. Okay, let's move on to approving this Can-Am rugby contract. As you probably remember from work session, Chelsea lined it up. All we're doing is following the same schedule, 10% per year. Not a lot of money. I shouldn't say it like that. Of course, we appreciate the money. But at 10%, it's not.
And it's one day.
Right. So with that, did you have those sent to you today? I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure
we
you
did. Yeah, look right at
Okay.
it.
So moved.
All right, second? All right, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Carried, thank you. Next item is an agreement to spend town highway funds. I brought the document down to Jim Dugan today, he signed it. I don't know if you've gone over it or not, but just in basic terms, total outlay for paving this year is $452,200. As you know, we added Adirondack Lodge Road this year, and we will be using some fund balance to make those numbers work. It is, I guess, ironic that the next item on our agenda is accepting our fund balance policy, but it's, we actually have a very good policy in keeping us calibrated, if you will, where and how we spend fund balance. So in any respect, back to this spend highway funds, I'll take a motion to approve.
So moved.
Dick,
Second.
second by Jason. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Carried. Thank you. Next on the agenda is to approve our fund balance policy. And actually, I hate to say after 20 years, I learned something looking at this, knowing all the different categories that helps us stay in line, I guess.
Oh, it does. When Jason and I met with Kathy, and some of the things she told us, and obviously it's her realm.
Right.
So we're going like, yeah. But she educated us a lot.
I mean, it's so easy for the general public to think just because you have fund balance, it's a an open well.
Yeah, no,
Couldn't be farther from the truth.
no.
So anyway, everything looks, I mean, I'd like to say I understand every sentence in
No,
there.
we didn't, so
No.
that's okay.
But coming from Kathy and she's secure in offering this, I definitely support it. So I'll take a motion to
And I
approve.
just want to say kudos to Kathy because she gave Jason and I this explanation and, whatever percentage we're going, yes, the other percentage we're going, whatever.
Right.
Again, it's your world. And she spent a lot of time, she modeled it after a couple other ones and she spent a lot of time on that. So
Yeah.
kudos to her.
It was long overdue, so it's good. to have it.
For sure.
Yeah.
Motion to accept, Dick, second, Jason. Got anything to say?
I was just gonna say, like, the takeaway is the 15% to 25%.
Hmm.
Like, if you had to summarize it into one sentence, it's no less than 15, no more than 25.
Right.
Right,
Okay,
yeah.
got it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I kind of waited to hear from, in the whole thing and
Which is a lot of dough.
Yeah.
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 Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
No one opposed? Carried. Thank you. The next thing is just kind of doing a little poll. Brendan called me and said he's got the plaque,
Okay,
the design, just like we talked about.
Okay.
Very basic. And of course, we stepped up with COVID relief money to offer more cleaning once it could come up of that historic section. What are we spending right now? We're gonna spend $1,600. He wanted to know if this board wanted to be part of that plaque. This is where I kind of waver, if you will.
Mhm.
I'm okay with the general concept, taking care of the cemetery, especially that historic as a whole. But this specialty thing, I think, falls in the realm of veterans and that specific focus.
I think it falls under their particular nonprofit,
Right.
so I think they can handle the costs
So,
of it.
and no, I'm sorry I don't support that 1,100, but I think we're gonna carry our weight in that section of cemetery as a whole, moving forward.
Do we have a contact, like, you would say the organization, do you have a contact person that, like, if it's not being maintained? Am I understanding
No,
correctly?
the maintenance part falls on us, but the purchasing of that plaque
Oh, okay.
is separate,
Oh, okay.
which is at $1,100. So at the present time, I think I'll politely pass.
Yep.
If there's controversy though, please bring it up.
I agree.
Okay. I think that's all we need said on that. Brian has sent from Rail Trail from ARDA, is that?
Yeah.
Acronym?
Yeah.
That they're in, a fundraising effort right now. I'm not really clear on specifics on how the money's going. I'm sure some of it is websites, a lot of it is marketing. I don't know if at some point in this next few months, as we wind down our plans for COVID relief money, if any allocation you'd like to make there that goes to help the rail trail as a whole, but doesn't affect our tax base. As we run out of this money, it's,
Okay. For one thing, they did get a LEAF grant
yeah,
for
equipment, wasn't it?
No.
Marketing.
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 That's what I'm saying, marketing, website, web design, pamphlets, the whole bit.
Yep,
So we gave them what they wanted. So therefore, that should be done.
okay,
You know what I mean? So anything that maybe the expense turned out greater than they thought or something like that. So I, obviously can't speak for them.
well,
Whatever they wanted to do it, we gave them.
okay. I invited Brian tonight, too busy, but he's gonna come August.
Okay.
So at the very least, we'll get an update on where things are at and have a better understanding.
Because, I'm sure everybody got an email. I got an email from
Yeah,
Brian,
yeah.
looking for funds. So my feeling is, like I said, in preparation for, not preparation, marketing, web design, they supposedly have money. So let's see what they can raise through their direct,
Sure.
and then we can go from there.
Oh, good idea.
So are you saying to table it for the next month?
Yeah, at least,
August?
and we could always
Yeah.
budget it.
Okay.
We could budget it for next year.
So anyway, we'll get an update next
Yeah, an
month.
update, yeah.
Okay.
I don't think there's any as far as the prep and everything, I don't think there's any big rush.
Emily, do you know where we stand with our representatives? You know, at one time, we were split, and then Rick stepped in to say he had an interest, and then one of the other bike companies.
But I don't know if Brian ever reached out to Placid Planet.
Right.
That's right.
So when he comes, maybe we'll clarify
Yeah, I think.
how our representation is.
Yeah.
Because I'm willing to step aside to let anybody
Yeah,
else.
because, yeah, we kind of, like Rick did, stepped up, but I don't know where the whole thing stands.
Okay.
I think, nothing against anyone, but I think we need updates.
I gotta say, the work is really impressive.
Yeah, and now they've started on the next, which doesn't
I
affect
mean, it's a
us.
whole road.
Yeah.
Fabric,
Just before I came down, just as an aside, watching the news, and they had the Lamoille Way Rail Trail. They were advertising it.
yeah,
It's 93 miles in Vermont.
wow,
That's a lot, but the surface was very similar. They said the gravel surface.
yeah,
Fine gravel and everything, and it looked really impressive. So I mean, if we can even come to close to what they have,
yeah.
it's, they had drone shots and everything, and, going along rivers and blah, blah,
I'll
blah.
be curious to get the update on the 2 miles of pavement.
The number of emails that have been flying around about 2 miles of pavement is unbelievable.
I'll bet.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. We need a resolution accepting the public hearing for the airport lease on 7/11 at 5 PM. Are you required to read that notice or not until the public hearing?
I don't think it's really.
Okay.
This is just a set to public hearing.
And maybe just for Lauren and Fred's benefit, this public hearing is the culmination of a couple of years, actually 3 years, working with Steve Short at the airport, who is ready to retire. And we've had a couple different people step forward and show interest. And in this last year and a few months, folks from different parts of the country have come to us with some great plans, if you will, to not only continue the same type service, but expand on a couple of those services. So we're very excited to be at a very close point, signing a lease with, I gotta remind myself the name of their new
Lake Placid Aviation Holdings.
Lake Placid Aviation Holdings. I guess kind of the charismatic part to explain is that one of the investors is a former NFL player. His name is Russ Francis. He's from Hawaii. He's in his young 70s and used to play for the Patriots and then finished with San Francisco.
49ers.
Yeah.
What a Super Bowl.
Yeah, so, and he's been great to work with. We've all met him at a couple different times. And it's exciting. They have a brand new aircraft that was purchased to help augment private charters. One of the, I'll call it one of the more major upgrades will be to add a fuel truck so that planes can't individually taxi up to the fuel source, which is a huge safety factor. And the relationship between Steve Short and the new folks is very good. So that really helps with the transition because Steve has been an icon at the airport for, I don't know, over 40 years, Dick, would that be fair?
Close. I think
Yeah.
around 40.
In any respect, you
Right.
know,
No, it's
course.
a babysat for me when I was 7.
Yeah, I
so-
mean, he's been there, I've been here almost 40 years, and he was here when I came.
so we wish him a great retirement. I'm sure he will be hanging around,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
for sure. So anyway, that's the basis for the public hearing. I hope to have that final draft of the lease, just a few little minor things that the new leases are going over. One of them would be accepting our minimum standards that we all adopted last March. So we're really in just a formality stage. I do need a a resolution, and I was wrong. I don't need a resolution on the public hearing.
Resolution adopting this public hearing.
Oh, I do? All right. See that? She's
Okay.
keeping me straight.
That's why you're here.
And that's because it's a, like, the reason that something that makes it different is because it's a lease on Park District land?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yep. So I'll take a motion on the resolution for the public hearing on the airport lease on 7/11 at 5 PM. You gonna do that?
So sure, so.
All right.
Second.
Second by Jason. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Carries. Thank you.
7-Eleven or 7-14?
That's 7-Eleven.
So,
A
there's a
different-
different one.
There's another one that's.
Oh, okay, sorry.
So it's not,
Here.
it's the 19th.
Yeah, yeah.
That's-
I see.
You want
It says, the second one
That's-
reads 14 on
that's
it,
the-
it's just the 19th.
I
It
think-
is the 19th.
Yeah,
It's in the packet, right?
right.
Yep.
Yes, it makes.
So there's another one that's on the 19th.
Oh, okay.
It reads 14 on the agenda, but it's actually.
And it's a mistake.
Right, 14's Friday.
Not that we would meet on a
I know.
Friday, Fred, but.
We've done that before.
No day.
Under protest.
No day. That's all.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that's
I
just,
do have
our-
it in my calendar, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
5:30, right?
5:30, correct?
yep,
Third floor.
I'll be out of town on the 11th. That's the day before my birthday, so I might really have been.
Ooh. Right.
I don't know.
okay. So let's move on to budget adjustments.
So we did this already, right?
Yep. All right, the financial,
Did budget adjustments come from Kathy or come from Rose?
they came from Kathy.
Okay.
You
Well,
want this
email,
one or no?
oh, did it?
Kathy sent it to
I
us.
got this one as an
Yeah, then
email.
I-
It's actually
wherever
a
they go,
review
work
board.
too. Were they yesterday? No, I mean, were
It
they?
would have been this morning.
This morning? Yeah, it's from Kathy this morning.
Got them.
Didn't you already see them?
Yeah, she handed them out at the meeting,
Okay.
at the workshop. Yeah.
I think it's all straightforward. There's
Yeah.
nothing,
She didn't have anything on now, dang.
no. But maybe because Terry's on here, we might talk a little bit about Lake Patrol. I think we're off to a great start
Oh,
with
we are.
So, have a budget adjustments you need to make a motion.
Yeah, I was rambling a little bit before we do it, but listen, she's on me, so do I have a motion to accept the budget amendments in personnel? Jason, seconded by Dick. All in favor? Aye. Carry.
I just did it separately. I just did it separately on the agenda so that you can do budget adjustments and then personal action.
Well, we just did them both,
Oh,
so you can
you
write
don't need to talk about that,
about the personnel?
Yeah. do
Well,
you wanna?
we can, but we did all of this in work session as
We
well.
saw them. I
Okay,
mean,
so
Yeah.
Jason, Dick.
sounds good to me.
Anything you want to say about Terry and Lake Patrol and?
No, I appreciated his email this morning, right?
Yeah,
He just gave us the update
Yeah.
about the holiday weekend. It seems like everything's kind of falling into place. And I think every time we create, and not that this was a new position, but it was a new position and that it wasn't a record and it was a town employee. So that we kind of,
It wasn't the Rickard Lake Patrol.
yeah, so I think considering all of those things, it's been a smooth transition. And I think most people are very grateful that he's been
Oh, I
out there.
think so. And it's nice he's making, number one, he's making contact with some of the shore owners as he's going around. I'm sure Buzzy pointed out certain, whatever, different things, which he said he did. And, he's meeting people, he's into it. As far as the vote, Jocelyn's got her design, she's final should be here in a couple days. She's got your key, so I said, hang on to the key. I said, don't worry
I
about
don't
it.
need it.
Don't worry about it. I said, depending on when you want to do it, I'll give you Terry's number. If it's,
Yeah.
just so so the vote's going to be there.
Just do it on a rainy day.
So
That's
you
it.
can relay that number to me too.
Okay.
But other than that,
I didn't get an email. I don't know if it went to just like what we commissioned.
Oh, about his, I can send it to you. I'll send it to you and right now.
And also, I talked to Jocelyn today about, she getting some recommendations or a logo sticker.
Oh,
And she's going to, when she's going on that, we talked today about the position where they're gonna be done, and no really difference, just on each side. Not totally across from each other, but like this, because there's not enough room on one side. And we talked about the sticker, and she's gonna measure it to see if she's got the key, to see how big a sticker logo we can put on it. And today, a little while ago, she sent me a website that we can get that.
yeah.
So that'll be next.
Once we have those stickers, I'm wondering, well, no, are they the village sticker? That's
The
that's the
village, yeah.
Lake Placid?
Same one that's on our letterheads.
Okay. I'm just wondering, would it be anything you'd want to consider for our town trucks?
No, I think we're okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
ours just say
Say
town
town.
North
Yeah,
Elba.
because, I mean, if you put that logo on our trucks, it's gonna be confused with.
Confusing. Village
For
town.
anyone who knows the difference between village and
Yeah, exactly.
Red and blue?
town. Yeah.
Red, blue, white,
Yeah.
whatever. Mainly red and white.
One of the complaints, it might go to the village, so that might benefit us.
Yeah, really, yeah. So,
Okay,
yeah, so that, I think that's, I only touched on most of it. As far as the physicality of it, I think that's where we are.
as far as other employees that were on that, my brother now is a very part-time, couple days a week as Park District needs him.
Okay,
Wayne Moran.
Yeah.
Recently retired, same thing, jumping in just as we need.
so what, I know Wayne,
Yep,
but he retired a while ago.
yeah,
He went back to work?
a little over a year,
Closer to probably 2 to 3.
okay, yeah,
So, but then did he go back to work?
No.
Florida? Okay,
No, no.
no, okay.
no,
Because you had mentioned last time at the workshop that he wanted limited because he was still working.
oh, no,
No, okay,
yeah,
because I know he was working for somebody else and he got through there too.
something tells me he got shamed into helping us out.
Could be.
So I think it's a very temporary situation.
So I can shame him back to it. I can
Yeah.
shame him and say, hey, we really need you, buddy.
But things like carpentry and the little things like this week, we've got Emily's uncle and my brother slated to put in the windows in our new cabin, our
Right.
administration cabin up at the fields
Right.
to be ready for lacrosse. And then we need an electrician to run power. The box is right outside one of those stanchions, so it
Oh, I
should
didn't look, okay.
be easy.
I mean, that's in a great spot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, I was out there today. Yeah.
Any reports on beach? How we doing down there? Have you been?
I don't know, I tried to get my kids to go today and they wanted to go to the pool, so I've not been.
Okay,
I went the other day. The water, they were right, the water filling station works. And it comes out, that's perfect.
good.
Yeah,
That's good news. That saved us $1,600.
there we go.
All right.
I guess not the beach, but just to say, I was talking to somebody in the last couple of days, I don't remember who it was, it's not relevant, I don't think. But because of the Hampton Inn there now, the canoe launch, kayak launch area, it is swamped with the Hampton Inn people.
Okay.
In other
It's
words,
become their,
Right.
Private.
I mean, it used to be, we'd have the beach. If you're standing on the beach, we had the beach, and then you'd have pretty much nothing, and you'd have people maybe athletes training going in there.
does it become an enforcement thing for our lifeguards or anything?
No, I just wanted to mention that, and I did drive by the other day thinking about that, and that area that I'll call it kayak launch
Yeah.
is swamped.
Uh,
And there are stewards there.
Okay.
There's stewards there,
All right.
and they're there, I believe, 5 days a week now.
So there's not much action we can take.
No, I just want everybody aware of it because
Okay.
we all think of historically the beach packed and then just people maybe meandering and then just some athletes in their wetsuits going in, and they have kayaks and canoes and everything,
Yep.
boards and everything going in. No, there's,
People are posting up, like putting towels down and just kind of making it almost like you would say on the backside of the lake. They do that.
Okay. Can I have a motion to approve the audits? Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Carried. Thank you. Under committee reports, Emily, can you either just remind mostly so Lauren would know, where we're at, and we need kind of a formal resolution to accept funding the software for upstairs,
Oh,
because we haven't done that officially yet.
yeah, it wasn't on the agenda actually, so I don't.
But under committee reports, I
Oh, is
think
that
we
what
can do it.
Mike wanted me to do? Okay.
Yep, I think that's
Well, the other thing was that we also asked for some legal input on the contract, and we
right,
don't have that back yet.
right.
But it's, but beyond that, I know that the company, which is Cloud Permit, is very excited to get going, and they are willing to hold a bill until our new budget cycle. Because that was the pushback that, I said to Brett, I just hate doing things out of budget cycle, especially something that's $20,000 out of budget cycle. And she said, they said they wouldn't bill us until October, and I was like, well, it's January.
Yeah, really, yeah.
And she said.
That's when we start talking.
Yeah.
That's right.
And she said that they were aware of that, the discrepancy in the budget, and so they were willing to work with us on but I haven't looked at the contract to see if it actually says that. I don't know.
With no
Did you
penalty.
guys see the contract?
No,
Okay, then I'll start by sending
with,
it.
and the big thing, yeah, we're willing to hold it, but hopefully with no penalty.
Yeah,
But
there was
also-
not, there was nothing about that. I think it was maybe they would take 10% now and the rest,
I thought it was $3,000
maybe it's 3,000.
for a training period,
Okay.
at which time we could say, yes, it's working or it's not, which lingers or, you know.
As long as I'm obviously supportive, just waiting for the legal to come back and make sure that it's.
The efficiency aspect of this thing is gonna be tremendous.
Yeah, but I guess under committee reports, we could authorize them to go forward with this $3,000 for the training, right?
And
I'm
then
trying to look at the
conditional
contract right
upon
now.
legal.
Yeah, and conditional upon legal review of the contract.
I think that's fair enough, and that's kind of how we left it at work session, same thing.
Yeah.
So it could turn into August, but it sounds like it's just no big deal anyway, because we're not paying for it till January. All right.
It actually does say October. I just found it. Sorry.
Okay.
I think Deborah must have said, well, they do budget in October, and that was how it got communicated.
Okay,
It's weird.
we do budget work.
With Iron Man right around the corner, I'm not sure if I included you all. Greg Borzilleri wrote me for our acceptance of using the road system for the race, which I know we did months ago. However, because there's been discussion back and forth on the addition of Lodge Road, I wrote a new one to them, along with Roy Holzer and Joe Pete and all the towns that had to re-up and say, okay. My note basically clarified the fact that it was very unlikely that Lodge Road was going to be utilized for the race course because it is on our slate to repave. So everybody in their mind thinks that, okay, it's going to be repaved, it's going to be gorgeous. Why can't the bikes use it? Ken, who is more than cautious, as you well know, when new roads go down, there is a film that forms. That's why racing on a new paved roads is dangerous as hell. It can take a week for that to subside. It depends on the temperature, the whole bit.
Well, to me, that's not even the factor. The
Right.
major factor is, you're 100% correct.
That's just the safety aspect.
That's it. The fact is, because it's out and back and it's a bike, you need to close down the road. You can't close down Adirondack Lodge Road in the summertime.
But I
On a
thought we
Sunday.
were explicitly told it was not closing down the road.
You'd have to.
Yeah.
With a bike, you'd have to.
Who answered that question? MJ maybe?
Like, I don't see how you could,
It
if
could-
you're going down.
the run-
Someone said it would just be one lane. And maybe it
No.
wasn't Greg. Am I not talking to Greg?
The concession was during that discussion that they could utilize Craigwood because,
Oh, yes.
and they would cross traffic and have state police there.
Yeah.
So that it could satisfy the 2 miles in and out twice or whatever.
Well, my thing is, and I am adamant about this, the point is, my experience with Ironman, dealing with, there's a few aspects to it. Dealing with River Road, out and back, a run, where you got people going like this as opposed to like this.
Yeah.
And switching lanes and like that. It's bad enough. I remember the first time I did it, to go out, just out to the turnaround, it took me a half an hour.
Yeah.
And I knew what I was doing. Okay. Point is, bikes are constantly going, not changing lanes, but jockeying, okay?
Sure.
When they're going out, they're not single file. So how are you gonna get somebody that doesn't know how to drive around these people? And the amount of traffic that goes into the lodge,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, we've all been seeing those 3, 4 parking lots, whatever back in there.
Right.
No, I'm,
So,
you know, I'm very adamant against it.
so I think I finally said it.
Yeah, no matter what they say, and even if they say, well, one lane closed, no.
Does Craigwood close for the day?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, that's where my husband hides. Are you kidding me? He goes out to Craigwood, an Ironman.
Oh,
No,
And he
I'm
hides.
sorry, the
No,
one
that's
that
right.
closes is, no, Whiteface Club is open because you can get there. Craigwood.
Yeah, he goes really early before everybody, so he misses, and
Oh, and
he
he
stays out
stays
there
Because,
and plays and plays and plays.
well, general traffic doesn't go out there that day.
Well,
yeah,
I would
well,
say he's not getting a cart, because I don't think there's any employees out there.
That's right.
No, yes,
So
no, he
you-
It's
he
just
walks.
sex
You can walk it.
He's in the full car.
Yeah, because that's the thing, you can get to Craigwood, but if you want to come back to town,
That's
you
right.
gotta do that. Who wants to do that?
Oh, nice. Okay.
Aside, sorry.
Yeah, no,
Well,
so,
that's asking.
yeah, I mean, if they want to use Craigwood, whatever, but Lodge Road, no way.
Craig would have made more sense.
Anything else on committees that I'm forgetting?
One thing back to pickleball.
Yeah.
You had mentioned something about HMA being a Mike Hamel.
He was the one that secured that servicing company from Stoles. They were
Oh,
finishing
okay.
out there.
Okay,
Yeah, it was him that was trying to talk them into take care of it.
okay, I didn't realize what Mike's part
Yeah,
was. Okay,
and he wasn't even gonna take a share of it. He was just
Right.
trying to organize it.
right, okay.
And I just didn't realize they only deal with blacktop.
No, I mean, I just, to me, the surface is fine for now, the way it is
Yeah.
and all that. So if we can get, like
And
I
for all
said,
I know, maybe we'll decide to paint the lines a bright color and not paint the whole surface.
Mm.
But let's get them open and get.
yeah,
people
that's the
using
point. And like I said, I'll touch base with Haley tomorrow, and Haley can talk a lot.
What was, so maybe I feel like I'm a little out of, what was Rick, he's an avid pickleball player, what was his recommendation as far as the lines? Did he make recommendations like as far as what to do with the pickleball courts?
them. No, no, you can buy line kits and all that. It's really up to us what we want them to look like.
Okay,
If we want the classic colors,
Okay.
for the kitchen and the back. And
should we put that out, to kind of like crowdsource what they would like to do?
first I gotta find a product that can go down and survive the winter,
Yeah.
painting concrete.
Well, it won't matter when we put the dome over it.
There you go.
Yeah, when they're retractable roof.
I'm
yeah,
not sure I
totally.
have enough COVID money left.
We went a little crazy earlier. We could have had a retractable roof for those pickleball.
Yeah, okay.
So that's it for committee. Lauren, you're up. Or you can tell your chicken story first.
I read it.
Yeah, I read
You can read it in yesterday's Enterprise, or today's
Today's
Enterprise,
Enterprise.
I don't know what it is. So I feel like I kind of walked in on the middle of the Ironman conversation. Are they changing the race course this year?
No, they were, well,
Yeah,
yes, they were short,
not in North Elba though.
not in North Elba. They lost some area, I believe it was in Black Brook.
Yeah, out to Black Brook,
So
yeah.
they need another area to make up that distance. And the two requested areas, as you heard, was Adirondack Lodge Road. And now what the final say is, I can't tell you. All you heard was what our response is to using Lodge Road.
Yeah.
Now, Greg assured us that there are instances, it happens more often than you would think, where small sections do have to be bypassed. So what is recognized as the official distance for Ironman quite often has to be shrunk down the last minute. That could happen this year here.
Yeah, and it also, historically, almost every year, there's minor changes to the course. There is, I'm seeing it year to year and years ago working for them. A lot of times we go to a meeting and say, okay, we got to adapt it here. There's usually every year there's a minor change, but nothing major.
Right.
But this one would kind of be, if they used a lodge or something like that, to me, that'd be a major, but ain't happening.
Do you know why they lost area in Blackbrook?
I would ask Blackbrook or Ironman.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it is Blackbrook though, right?
yeah.
It's Blackbrook. Yeah, that's great.
It's a whole different county. Frank.
Clinton.
Clinton, yeah.
We could make up stories for you.
I was wondering if you ever met with Aaron Kramer
Uh,
at the ER.
Actually, yes. The mayor and I were invited to meet with him, was it last week?
Yeah.
Last week. It was a very good meeting. There were few specifics, but it opened up a line of communication that was really very successful. Aaron talked about the challenges of the hospital. We talked about, let's say, a relationship that will involve Hudson Headwaters, Adirondack Health, the town, the village, how things might be moving forward. But there have been no decisions from Department of Health as to the acceptance of the closure. So really, nothing substantial has changed other than a good open avenue to communication. So I feel very confident that as Department of Health makes a move or whatever, Aaron and Mr. Scollins will be on the phone to us. So that is the major improvement.
So it just clears up the
Yeah.
approach that Adirondack Health had in the fall. where it's
Exactly.
A little bit more
And
obtuse.
And they have a number of things going on. It involves Mercy Healthcare and, the closure of the dentist, and addressing all of those, whether it's one of the facilities that's for sale with a prospective buyer. But I would be willing to bet if you called Aaron, he'd be forthcoming. Yep.
Can you give me his number?
I'm not sure I have his number. It came as an invitation to go meet him at his office. Yeah. I could give you a Matt Scollins number.
I've got Matt's number.
Yeah.
So you mean the Hudson Headwaters thing, are you talking about their interest in the primary care at the ER?
Yeah. Like I say, nothing new came out other than just reconfirming and being willing to communicate directly with us. That's what we hadn't had before. So that's a step in the right direction. Yep.
Could you say if Adirondack Health might be receptive to having Hudson Headwaters there?
They have a great working relationship together. There's major renovations going on at the hospital in Saranac Lake now. Is it the Redfield Center? Is that the
It's
name of
Redfield
it?
Building.
Redfield Building. So yes,
But Hudson Headwaters, I think you already said that, Lauren, it would be still be primary care, it would not be like an urgent care or an ER.
Yeah.
But they are a federally qualified health center,
That's right.
so they have to take everyone that
Yeah,
comes to them.
and they also, one thing we did learn, addition, that's the big one. That's what we just said. But they also, every day they leave walk-in, I'll use the expression, walk-in slots open, which fill up quickly. But they do in all their facilities, primary care facilities, they do leave slots open for patients. And there was a misconception that you had to be a patient of theirs to get in. But the point is, what happens is, and this was my mistake, I asked for clarification on that. Basically, if you want to get in, you go to that facility and they sign you up per se. And all of a sudden, you're a patient in 5 minutes and they see you. Yeah, you may have to wait a little bit because you've got to get a provider, but they do have slots every day that they're open.
Did you guys ever talk with Hudson Headwaters more about the wraparound building?
I don't know if we got too specific with them about that,
No.
other than just reaching the concept that we had a task force looking into childcare, and that's a direction we hope could, but no, nothing. I guess as far as a reaction from them, I don't even really remember one, other than the fact that, it was kind of Linda Beer's concept to bring in like satellite offices with social services to come to the area. So it's still like high on our wish list, but we really haven't defined the demand on the childcare side of things yet to be able to move in a direction. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's still pretty preliminary on the
Yeah.
town's part.
but I do feel that we're quite a bit closer to a document on demand, would you say?
It's not necessarily on demand, it's on
What-
what,
On the feasibility,
yeah,
Yeah.
what the committee thinks we should do.
right. Say,
We meet again, yeah, we meet again on July 10th,
yeah,
so. Yeah, maybe a month, let's see how fast Dean is.
That's like a task force for the community development commission.
yes. What else you got?
I think that's all I've got right now.
Okay. Fred? Here as a reporter, or?
No, I'm here as a citizen.
There you go. Yep,
I'm representing the public today.
there you go. All right.
Appreciate you making the drive.
All the way from Saranac Lake. Wow.
We are in need of an executive session. Couple contractual items. One personnel. I don't expect that we will make decisions in this executive session, so I only say that so it's not worth hanging around. Yep.
Make a motion that we go into executive session.
And before we go into executive session, I hope you're all proud of me. Look at that.
Oh, I know. Well, I almost asked Fred to come up with some questions because this is not normal.
I saw the short agenda, I thought, I'm not gonna say anything. Get out of here now.
Well, let's see how executive session goes.
Thanks, Fred.
Can you,
Sure. I think I was seconding, right? 'Cause
Yes.
yeah, okay.
So all I have to do is remember
You have
does
to
it on the way
remember
out?
who does it on
And the
the
time.
tag, yeah.
close your eyes,